Hello everyone and welcome back to my movie review. Today I would like to talk to you about a sports special that I saw on Peacock. This special is called Nancy and Tanya. This special covers the most infamous Winter Games of all time, 1994. Nancy Kerrigan, on her way back from a training session, was viciously attacked. Someone took a stick to her knee, and Nancy was one of the favorites to win that. One thing I like about this documentary is you get to know more about Nancy. Nancy is kind of a smart aleck, and I love it. I love her. I love her cheeky attitude. Nancy is a welder's daughter. She came from a very working class background. Her dad and her mom had to work very, very hard to pay for her lessons, but her parents would always say, how can we not do that when she's so good? Nancy would go on to win the silver medal at the 94 Olympics after this vicious attack, but unfortunately more things were coming out. Tanya Harding, a rival of hers on and off the ice, was involved with her ex-boyfriend Jeff to attack her. To this day, Tanya is banned from the sport of ice skating. One thing that I found interesting was one thing both women had in common when it came to ice skating is they both struggled with the showmanship of the sport. They were both skaters, but one former skater even calls it the ability to play the game. He said Nancy eventually learned how to play the game, she just didn't like it. But with her natural ability, she knew what to do. Tanya never learned how to play the game, including arguing with judges and not showing up on time. But one thing that he does admire about Tanya was her triple axel. And Tanya was one of the few women that could do it. Unfortunately, there were also other problems with Tanya. She would show up late to practice. She smoked a lot. She drank a lot. She was in relationships with people like Jeff and his friends, and her trainers and managers didn't like it because she didn't even train that hard for the 94 Olympics. She would come in less than a week before the event and practice, and this really hurt her ability to medal. This is one of those sports stories that has withstood the test of time, and I am really proud of Nancy for excelling and going on to get a silver medal. One thing that was really interesting to me as well is that for almost an hour, people thought Nancy Kerrigan had overcome everything and won a gold medal. Unfortunately, she came against Oksana Bayul, who was an amazing ice skater who would go on to take the gold medal. After that, Nancy Kerrigan would get married. Meanwhile, on the other side of the story, Tanya was having a lot of problems. She was banned from figure skating for life, and she took a plea deal to avoid prison time. Now, both Nancy and Tanya are parents, and they're doing their own thing. Tanya Harding divorced Jeff, who was involved in Nancy's attack, and Nancy is enjoying a nice, quiet family life. One thing that people didn't really like about Nancy was she was not always the showiest person. With her and Tanya both had that issue. And my favorite moment in the documentary was in '94 when they were skating against each other. Everyone was saying, they're gonna pass. And when they passed each other and looked each other dead in the eyes, everyone flashed and took pictures. It is to this day one of the most watched figure skating events in Olympic history because everyone wanted to see what would happen. My favorite part of this documentary was almost a joke, but it turned out to be real. After Nancy was attacked, one of the press people said to her friends, "Who does Tanya Harding know in Detroit?" I think that's really funny, considering what actually happened. Both Nancy Kerrigan and Tanya Harding are retired now, but I think the sport remembers Nancy a lot more fondly. I am going to give Nancy and Tanya an A. I have always been fascinated by this story, and I think this documentary actually did a better job than the 30 for 30 episode on it called Price of Gold, which you should also check out. Maybe I'll review that one day. But I just really think this documentary, it's one of those documentaries I can pop on anytime, and I'm always in the mood to watch it. So if you have Peacock, please go check it out. It is definitely worth your time. I'm going to give Nancy and Tanya an A. My name's Josh Buck, and until next time, bye-bye.